Hello and welcome to another episode of Call Her Creator, powered by Stan. I am Caitlin Rhodes, also known as Social Marketing Queen, and I'm here to teach you how to make money doing what you love, whether you're a content creator, UGC, influencer, or maybe you're just an entrepreneur. I want this podcast to be your go-to for all things social media marketing and growing your business. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about paid advertising, specifically for Instagram and Facebook. We're going to go over how to basically run an ad. We'll go over targeting options, what your budget should look like, your audience selection, calls to action, everything you need to get started. We're going to cover everything from why you should even consider running ads to the basics of setting them up, and even some tips and tricks to make sure you get the most bang for your buck. So by the end of all of this episode, you should feel confident and ready to dive into the world of Facebook and Instagram advertising. Now, you guys always know the very best way to support me and my podcast, if you're listening today, is to please download it. But I also really love reading your reviews as well. So if you want to leave me a 5-star review, I would be also happy. Today's review spotlight comes from our friend Introvert Boss Wealth. And they said, I almost feel guilty. I get to listen to this for free. You're doing such an incredible job. So informative and entertaining. I look forward to each new episode. Thank you so much. That is the one thing I want to do for you all with this podcast is edutain you. So I want to educate you, but I also want to keep you entertained. It's how I roll here. But I really hope you guys get some goodness from Call Her Creator, the podcast. Now, our update of the week is in regards to Meta, but it kind of rolls in Facebook and Instagram. So Meta is rolling out broadcast channels to Facebook pages with over 10,000 followers. They're expanding their access to its broadcast channel features. With all Facebook pages that have more than 10,000 followers, they can now create their own channel on Facebook and Messenger. In addition to all of this, in addition to the expanded access, they're also adding the capacity to share your channel messages from Instagram to Facebook, automatically share updates from those two channels, providing another way to expand the reach to your messages. They're giving early access to channel content, so channel managers can now also publish Facebook posts to channel members before they go live on your page as an exclusive perk, while also giving you an opportunity to test posts before they go live more broadly. I thought that was pretty cool. And then there's share to stories. Creators and members can share channel content via Facebook stories with a dedicated sticker format. So they're kind of meshing up Instagram and Facebook together. But to be clear, creators on Instagram can also create a broadcast channel. I talked about this in last week's episode, but it's not available to everyone as of yet. This announcement relates to broadcast channels on Facebook and Messenger specifically. So just keep that in mind. All right, so today's episode is packed with so much goodness. I'm just so ready to jump into it. So we're just going to get on into it. Let's first start by understanding the basics of what a Facebook and Instagram ad is. So if you're new to this, it can feel very overwhelming. Trust me, once you get in the back end, but once you get the hang of it, it's a super powerful tool for you to use that can truly transform your business. So first, let's talk about why Facebook and Instagram ads are so effective. Both platforms have billions of users, okay? Which means your potential audience is humongous. What is wrong with me today? Humongous. That's my word between humongous and huge. More importantly though, both of these channels offer incredibly detailed targeting options. So when we get a potential lead that is ready to grow their audience, but also sell, like they have this, they know who they want to sell to, they know their product, they know their customer, I will usually push Facebook ads to them because of the targeting options in the back end. They're amazing. You can target people based on their age, their gender, their interest, even their behavior online. This means that you can make sure your ads are seen by the people who are most likely to be interested in what you have to offer. So let's break down the different types of ads that you can run. Let's start off with just explaining to you what kind of ads are an option for you on both platforms. So you have several options for both platforms. First is going to be an image ad. That's just straightforward, ineffective. It's a single image with a little bit of text. These pretty popular. I see them all the time in my newsfeed. Then you have video ads. Those are great for engaging with your audience with dynamic content. We still know video is king, so I typically do see better results when I run a video ad versus an image ad, but that's for my business specifically. I'm not talking about my clients, because I've had some clients that do better with carousel ads, which is another type of ad format. These allow you to showcase multiple images or videos in a single ad, which is perfect for highlighting different products or features. Then there's the slideshow ad. These are similar to video ads, but they use a series of still images to create a video-like experience. Not as good as a video, but it's still interactive in my opinion. Then there's story ads. These appear in the story section and are perfect for short, bite-sized, engaging content. And then we have collection ads. These are ideal for showcasing a product catalog. They make it easy for the user to browse and purchase items directly from your ad. Just a little example here. I follow Uncommon James, Kristen Cavallari, what's up? I see her ads all the time. They're very interactive. And the cool thing is, pretty sure she does a collection ad, because I'll see like a photo of her hats and then the necklace behind it and then maybe like a shirt or something. And if I click on any of those, it takes me straight to that sales landing page to where I could buy. So that's kind of what a collection ad is. So choosing the right type of ad depends on your goals and the message you want to convey. For example, let's just say you're a dentist and you're offering a special promotion, an image ad with like a compelling photo or something that shows your clinic with a clear call to action that might work best for you. Or let's say you're a lash tech. I've been seeing a lot of lash lately on Instagram. I don't know why I'm being targeted by you guys, but I like it. Maybe it's because I get my lashes done and I talk about it a lot. But if you're like showcasing your work, a video like or a reel kind of ad demonstrating your process could be super engaging, or even like what your client's eyes looked like before and after. That's always good. So many possibilities here. Truly, like testing is the biggest thing I could teach you guys when it comes to Facebook and Instagram ads, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. The next thing though, after you understand what kind of formats there are, then you need to understand the ad structure. So Facebook and Instagram ads are organized into 3 parts. So if you're in the back end of Ads Manager, you're going to see 3 little like tabs there. There's campaign, ad set, and then the actual ad. So kind of think of like there's this big umbrella, right? Big umbrella is the campaign. Then underneath that is your ad set. And then under your ad set is your actual ad. And there can be several of those. So first, let's talk about the campaign, that big, huge umbrella first. The campaign, this is where you set your overall objective. Are you looking to increase brand awareness? Do you want to drive traffic or send people to your website? Are you trying to boost sales? Do you want leads? This is where you get to choose that objective that aligns with your goals. Now, if you're really unsure of what you actually want to run this campaign for, first off, you should know what you want to run it for before you do any of this, or you're going to end up wasting some money. But if you're just like, I just need some examples, I need them to kind of walk me through it. If you go to run an ad and you click the campaigns, it's going to kind of tell you like brand awareness for if you're looking to do this, lead generation if you want to do this. So Facebook kind of gives you a little bit of insight on what you're going to choose before you have to choose it. So you can always go look at that if you need kind of an example of what your campaign goal should be. Once you've got that set up, then it's ad set. Here's where you're going to define your target audience, set your budget, and choose where your ads appear. Will they be on Facebook? Will they be on Instagram? Will they be on both? Will they be in the feed? Will they only be on stories? Will they be in the right-hand desktop? We don't know. So that's where you have to decide. And then there's the actual ad. This is going to be the creative part where you get to design your ad. Now, when people you don't actually design inside Facebook, you need to design that outside. We typically will use Canva. I know I've also used Figma in the past to create ads. Depending on what kind of ad type you want to create and set and what your goal is, that will determine what you use. But this is where you will choose your format. You're either going to upload images or videos, and then you're going to have to write your copy and set your call to action. So understanding this structure is honestly key to creating effective ads. It ensures that your campaign is organized and that your ads are aligned with your business goals. So now that we kind of have an understanding what ads you can run, let's talk about setting up your first ad campaign by selecting the right objective for your audience. So setting up your first campaign, we're just going to go with the Lash Tech for our example, just throughout this episode, just so I can kind of keep it cohesive and you can understand. So first you're going to want to choose your campaign objective. So let's just say that the Lash Tech wants, their goal is to get more bookings. Okay. So they could choose an objective such as lead generation or conversions if you have a booking system on your website, whichever one sounds best to you. Now, let's just say that you go with lead generation. This will help you capture potential clients' information like their name, contact details, email, phone number, whatever it is you want to collect from them directly through that ad. So if you do a lead generation ad, you don't necessarily have to have a sales page because that they're going to capture it for you right there. Now, if you have a sales page, a booking page, then you could choose the conversions and then just send people to your booking page because your booking page is going to ask for their information as well. So lead generation, I've ran a lot of lead generation for realtors specifically. What we'll do is we'll kind of say something like looking for a free home valuation, want to know how much your home is worth, fill out these details, we'll send you a free CMA. And from there, they can fill in their information. Facebook will collect it directly and leave it in Ads Manager for you, and you'll be able to download that CSV of all the information whenever you want it. Next is creating your ad set. So we've got that campaign set and then the ad set and then the ads. So once you move to the ad set level, here's where you're going to define your audience, your budget, and placements. Where do you want that ad to go? So your audience, you want to target people who are likely to be interested in your services. So going back to the Lash Tech, we're looking for people that are interested in lashes. So if I was a Lash Tech, I'd probably narrow it down to people that are located in my local area because I probably have a brick and mortar where I do the lashes. Obviously, we can't do them over the computer. So I'm going to target by location. I'm going to target by gender. More than likely it's females, but if you do both male and females, do both male and females. Then I'm going to choose age. If I was a Lash Tech, I'd probably target anywhere between 18 to 45 years old, but you might go higher or lower, depends who you are. And then you're going to narrow down their interest. Are they interested in beauty, makeup? Maybe they like salons. Maybe there's a type of brand that you know that people like. Typically, if they use this brand, they're getting their lashes done. You could look and see if that brand's there as a interest as well. This is probably the most important part of your ad, is really narrowing down your audience. If you need help with this part, this is where you're going to want to go do research on the Google. Nail down exactly who it is that you are targeting. That's why it's so important for us to understand who our buyer personas are, because when you go in there and just start clicking things, you're going to waste money if you're targeting the wrong people. So you really want to nail down who is it that I'm talking to, all the things, their gender, their age, what are they interested in, where are they located. We want all those things when it comes to targeting people with an ad. Next, you're going to go to your budget. This really depends on who you are, what you're selling, how much you make yearly. I do know there's some research out there where they do a percentage of their yearly revenue. But for me telling you as a beginner, if you're just getting started, you might want to start with like a small daily budget of like $10 per day and just see how that rolls. You can always go back in each week and check and see how it's performing. If it's costing you too much money, if you think you can afford more, you can always up it, put it down. You can change the stuff on your ads at any point in time. It's not concrete in there. So the only drawback is when you do make a change on your ads, it is going to pause the ad for a minute, change it, and then Facebook has to relearn again what you're running. Once you've got your budget in there, then you'll choose your placements. So you can choose two ways here. One, you can let Facebook or Instagram choose it for you. It's called automatic placements, where they're going to decide where to show your ad, or you can manually select your placements, which I personally like to manually select my placements because I have a specific audience. I know that they're on Instagram or they're scrolling their Facebook feed. When you kind of let them automatically do it, Facebook will end up like there's like an audience network where I still don't even know where that goes. They might show your ad in Facebook Marketplace, which I don't think my people that I'm looking for are on Facebook Marketplace looking for a social media manager. So you decide where you want to put that. Now, the Lash Tech example that we had, they might want to be in the Facebook Marketplace because that's typically like local people looking for things around their local city. So You get to decide there. For a lash tag, Instagram feed and stories and Facebook feed and Facebook stories are probably great options for you because they're visually driven platforms where people are likely to notice beauty services. Now, once you've got all of that stuff, you're going to design your ad. Now comes the fun part. You get to design your ad. Since you're a lash tech, you'll want to showcase your work, right? So you got to kind of decide here your format, your copy, your call to action. So first is your format. For this example, let's just say you did a carousel ad. I think this would work well for you because it'll allow you to show multiple images of your clients. I also feel like a video would do really well too if you've got like a real video of people, maybe they just got their lashes done and you're just showing them off. So either of those formats would be great. Just make sure they're high quality. Then you got to come up with some copy. This is a little tough. This is, it's like your reels when you're trying to come up with the perfect hook. What are you going to say there? So I would go back and look at your top performing content and see what does your audience typically resonate with when it comes to hooks, or I would go to ChatGPT and ask them. For the sake of this example, you could put something like transform your look for the summer. Book your lash appointment today and enjoy 20% off using code FB. The reason I like to do a code is because then I can say like, okay, they definitely came from Facebook because that's the only place that code is at. But there's other ways to track where your people come from too with pixels, which we'll talk about in a minute. There's so much when it comes to the ads manager. And then you need to choose your call to action. Now, Facebook has call to actions already pre-made and you have to choose between them all. There's some that are like, book now, learn more. I can't think off the top of my head what all they say, but you have a good amount of options there. I still sometimes wish that Facebook would just let us change what the call to action is, but they have pretty good options for you to choose from. If I was a lash tech, I would probably say like either book now, so they know when they click that they're going to be booking their appointment with me, or learn more, because sometimes if people, I think now in this day and age, people know if they click book now, it's not going to take their credit card details right then and there. They're still going to get to learn more before they put all that in. But sometimes that can scare people away, like, oh, I'm not ready to book now, but I would like to learn more. So that's where you could use the learn more option. And then once you've got all of this in place, now you're going to review all of your details. You want to make sure everything looks good, no spelling errors. You can actually click, they'll let you preview what your ad's going to look like and all of the placements that you picked. So you can really decide and look it over and approve it all before it gets out there. So you'll check your images, check your copy, check that targeting one more time, and check your budget one more time too. Because I've also ran ads where I forgot to put in the budget and I was spending like $200 a day, and it was right when I was getting into all of this and I didn't have $200 a day to just throw at ads. So double check that. Once you're satisfied with your settings and everything that you've put in, then you click the publish button. So now you should be able to run your first ad. Now, once you run your first ad, let's talk about some tips here. And then I'm going to talk about your results and how you can understand the analytics side of your ads. So first, I've got 4 little tips for you when you're running ads. So the first one is Facebook does have an option for dynamic creatives. And what that means is if you're not set on your ad creative and the copy, you can actually give Facebook a ton of photos and a ton of different copy. And then Facebook and Instagram will automatically test different combinations of your ads creative elements. So their images, the videos, the headlines, the description, the caption. It'll pick and choose and play with them all and kind of test it for you to see what works the best. Now, for our lash tech example, you can upload multiple images of different lash styles, a few different headlines, various calls to action, and then Facebook and Instagram will mix and match these elements to find out what the most effective combination was. So I think that's pretty cool. If you ever want to test that, you can. For my social media agency, we should have enough experience where we don't exactly have to use the dynamic creative features. So I don't necessarily use that all the time. I kind of know what I want to run with as far as copy goes. But for someone just getting started, that might be something you want to test and play around with. And then there is the custom audiences. So back to where we were targeting people based on their age and gender, you can actually upload your email list too if you want to target a custom audience. Now, you can target your email list. You could target people that have visited your website before. You can target people that have interacted with your Instagram page. You can target people that have watched your video for 50% of the time. Like, there are so many options when it comes to custom audiences. So for example, say you created a custom audience of people who visited your booking page, but they didn't actually make an appointment. You can always go back and retarget those people. Or you can make a lookalike audience too. So you can actually make, when you create this pixel, we'll talk about that in a second, but Facebook Ads Manager lets you create a pixel, which then you can put onto your website, and it basically tracks visitors, okay, so that you can retarget them later on, meaning you can follow them around the internet and find them again. Not around the internet. For this specifically, you'd be retargeting them on Facebook and Instagram. But retargeting in general, that concept is where you basically follow people around the internet. Then you want to optimize for mobile. A lot of people, when they're on Instagram and Facebook, are getting on the app from their phone. So make sure that your ads are mobile friendly so that it enhances the user experience and ad performance. And then retargeting. Back to talking about the custom audience. So retargeting ads are shown to people who have already interacted with your business in some way but haven't converted yet. These ads can be highly effective for bringing potential customers back and encouraging them to take action. I actually use the retargeting ad for our membership. So if anybody's ever followed my page and interacted with us, if they've ever been to our website before, you're probably getting targeted by me to join my membership because you kind of already know who I am, because you've done something, you've engaged with me somehow. So now I'm trying to get you back and join my membership. So retargeting is really awesome. For the Lash Tech example, you could retarget people who viewed your lash transformation videos or your reels, but didn't book an appointment with you. Maybe you retarget them with an incentive like, hey, if you book today, I'll give you 20% off, or I'll give you 30% off your first lash appointment, something like that. Another bonus tip here is to keep an eye on your frequency. So when you go into checking on your ads and seeing how they're performing, there's something in there that says frequency or impressions. Ad frequency is the average number of times your ad is shown to each person. So if that frequency gets really, really, really high, your audience is probably going to get tired of seeing that ad. So that can lead to ad fatigue and then lower performance. So you're going to want to update that ad if you're seeing a really high frequency there. You want to monitor that and refresh your ad creative or your targeting in general if you notice that your ad's not really performing well and the frequency is really high. All right, now to wrap all of this up, let's talk about monitoring and improving your ad performance. So there's 3 key metrics that we look at when we're running ads. That is the click-through rate, the conversion rate, and then the cost per click or cost per conversion. Click-through rate measures how often people are clicking on your ad. A higher click-through rate indicates that your ad is relevant and it's engaging and it's doing good. Then there's conversion rate. That's the percentage of people who take the desired action after clicking your ad. So maybe they book the appointment. That's a conversion. And then you've got your cost per click or cost per conversion. Helps you understand how much you're spending to achieve that click or that conversion. You'll know exactly how much that person cost. But then there's the pixel that I was talking about. So the Facebook pixel is a small piece of code that you add to your website to track visitors' actions. It helps you to measure the effectiveness of your ad and understand their customer journey. For example, a Lash Tech, you could track how many people are visiting your booking page, and then you could track how many people actually completed the booking. And the way that works is that you put your code there, and Facebook will track if they got to your thank you page or your confirmation page. That means they booked their conversion. So there's ways back there that Ads Manager knows what's going on. Now, it is important to regularly review and optimize your ads. You want to check your ad performance regularly and make adjustments based on the data. If an ad isn't performing well, try changing something up with that ad. Maybe it's the creative, maybe you need to adjust your targeting, maybe you need to tweak your budget, something needs to be changed. You can also use the A/B testing functionality, which will help improve your ad because you're testing different headlines, images, and calls to action. So remember back when I talked about that dynamic creative at the beginning? Again, if you're a newbie, you might want to try that. Even if you're not a newbie, you could still try that option too. I don't use it as much as I probably should. And then with that, you want to leverage your insight for future campaigns. Use the insights that you've gained from your current campaigns to inform future strategies. If you see something that works really, really well, you probably want to keep adding money to that. If you see something performed really bad, you need to tweak something. So it's very important. As an ad agency, we're a social media agency. We really lean into organic social media marketing, but we do also offer paid ads management. And I'm in there checking daily, to be honest with you, but I say at minimum, you need to be checking weekly or bi-weekly to see how your ads are performing so that you can adjust them. And at the end of the day, like, you can do some industry research too and say something like, what is the average cost per click for niche specific? Put in what industry you're talking about, and they'll give you an average. And if yours is like way above that, obviously something's wrong. You need to change it. If yours is below that, then you would think, oh, I'm actually doing a good job. I need to keep this ad up. So I know that's a lot of information when it comes to Facebook ads. If you liked this episode, I do have a Meta Facebook Instagram ads bootcamp training over on my YouTube channel. I'll also link that in the show notes for you because, I could talk about this with you guys all day over a microphone, but if you can't actually see inside of Ads Manager, it's kind of hard to understand it all. So if you want to learn more about all of this, definitely head over to that video, and I think it was called Meta Ads Bootcamp, and you can kind of still get those beginner learning phase of running Facebook and Instagram ads. Now, if you enjoyed today's episode, please download it. Please leave me a review. I will love you forever. I will feature you on a future episode if you leave me a review, and you guys can always contact me over on Instagram at Social Marketing Queen or at Call Her Creator. I am on both, and I'm always listening to what you guys want to hear from me. I love your feedback, and I really appreciate you guys and your commitment to my podcast and all of your support. So thank you guys. I'll talk to y'all soon.